This episode is sponsored by SmartVestor. Connect with an investing pro for free at RamseySolutions.com/invest. You're listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires, where we talk investing, retirement, building wealth, and outrageous generosity.
Joe is with us in Huntsville. Hey, Joe, what's up?
How's it going, Dave?
Better than I deserve, sir. How can I help?
Same with me. I'm 23 years old. I'm in an extremely unique position, and we're grateful. I would just like to have some advice for, hey, what's next? I feel like we're doing everything right, but, just when you think you are, the good old faith puts you back in check. So, like I said, I'm 23. I am married. I got married at a young age, and we are doing really good for ourselves. We have no debt whatsoever. We both graduated college with no debt. We have new cars. We bought a house right before COVID, and that has doubled in price, and we got such a good interest rate on it. We turned it into a rental property, so I'm getting 100% profit for that for the rental house. We're on our second house right now. I'm investing into a Roth IRA. I have emergency funds set up. And I have $20,000 sitting in the bank, and it's continuing to grow because we have good jobs. So what's next? What is my next goal? What's my next set to, I guess, wealth building?
Yeah. Well, Joe, you are doing good. I'm proud of you. Well done. What's your household income, sir?
Together, my wife and I make about $100 a year. Okay. And keep in mind, we're only 23, and she's a teacher, and she's second year teaching, and I own my own company that's extremely successful and doing very well. So we this is just the beginning levels, and we're going to make a whole lot more.
Good. Okay. What I want to encourage you is you are doing very well. There's so much energy and so many positive adjectives in your description of your situation that it makes me a little bit fearful that you're going to try to move too fast. Mm-hmm. If you stumble, it's not going to be because of what you've done so far. It's going to be because you get a little cocky. And, Jim Collins wrote a book about companies failing, and he said one of the reasons they fail is hubris, which is I got arrogant. And I'm not saying you're arrogant, Joe, at all, okay? But you are fired up, and you are on top of the world, and you got the tiger by the tail, and you're smiling.
Yeah, we're money hungry.
It's
money hungry.
It's fun. And so what I'm going to encourage you as the old guy to do is slow down a beat. Not stop being ambitious, not stop striving for success, but just slow down a beat. When I was your age, I started buying and selling real estate. I had nothing. I went to the bank and borrowed the money to do my first flip, and I began flipping real estate. To date, I'm now 62, getting ready to be 63. I've owned over 2,000 pieces of real estate. So I love real estate. I love this. But what happened to me was I got rich quick. By the time I was 26, I had $1 million net worth, owned $4 million worth of real estate. But I had borrowed up to my eyeballs. I had $3 million worth of debt. The bank got sold to another bank. They called our notes. We spent the next 2.5 years of our life losing everything we owned. And with a brand new baby and a toddler, we were bankrupt and got to start over when I was 28. I don't want that for you. You're not as crazy as I was. You haven't moved as fast as I moved, but I'm just trying to give you the warning to say, okay, let's slow down a little bit. You're going to be a multimillionaire, Joe. When you're 40, your net worth is going to be well over $5 million, okay?
Wow.
I can promise you that. But I promise you it won't be if you keep borrowing money and buying real estate. You're going to get yourself in trouble. Slow down a notch. Next goal is pay off your house. Mm-hmm. The next goal is pay off your rental. And the next goal is pay cash for the next investment property. And you're going to be debt-free and pay cash for things every day from that point forward. That's what Jade and I would tell you to do.
Okay.
But right now it feels like it's impossible for you to mess this up. It is not impossible for you to mess this up. Right. You can mess this up. I did it with zeros on the end.
Can I ask you a question, Joe? What was your next move?
Ma'am.
I'm just curious. What was your next move going to be?
Well, I have, because of my father, he has a lot of really well connections. And one of his good friends has hundreds of kind of rental places down in the college town, Auburn University. So I'm getting a lot of my advice from a lot of wealthy people that I currently know, and this is what got my ambition into it. But my next goal was to kind of every year for the next 5 years, build a new house from scratch, because you get all the warranties and all the proceeds from building new. I mean, and they're just as cheap building them new than if you buy them, fixer-uppers. So my ambition was to buy a new house every year, move into it for my primary residence, and then get a conventional loan with a low interest rate until they get lower again. But kind of build a new one each year, and that when I move out of it, then I'll start renting that one. And my plan was to do that for the next 5 or 10 years. So every year, just build a new one, move into it for a year, and then start the process over, and then keep renting.
So with what Dave said, that's the opposite of that. Or if you did it, you'd be paying cash.
Yeah, you'd have to slow down a little bit and pay cash get your house paid off, get the other one paid off, and then pay cash for the next move. And if you start doing that every time you do it, you pay cash for it. I'm in.
Yeah, you're going
but
that.
That's going to take. You're going to slow down. You're going to do every other year at the most to pull that off.
Yeah, I thought about getting the incomes so if I have 5 rentals, I'll get those 5 extra incomes and pay off the lowest one first. And then once that 100% profit, then I start doing the next one, and then the next one. And when I did the numbers, it was like...
That is spoken like a naive landlord, okay? So, again, I own several $100 million worth of real estate, more than your dad's friend.
All things have to go perfect for that to be the case.
Yeah, and 100% of the time, renters don't pay. Okay? You just can count on it. Most of them pay. Most of them are good people. You do a good job screening. They don't tear up stuff. They pay the bills. Everything's okay. But this idea that you're making 100% profit is just false.
Yeah.
Because after you have vacancy, after you have credit loss, after you have an eviction, after you have someone go into Chapter 13 and it takes 14 months to get them evicted because you have to get the federal court permission to do it, you're going to start understanding then that renters really aren't, this thing where you've got all this dialed in. It has to go perfect, and it never goes perfect for your plan to work. So I don't think I won here. I think you're going to do whatever you're going to do.
Yeah.
I think I think you're an impressive young guy, and I wish I could get you to slow down a little bit because I think you'd have a higher probability of ending up very wealthy.
Yeah.
Than you would following your dad's friend's process of going deeply into debt. If you want to do that, you probably need to follow my friend Robert Kiyosaki. He believes in borrowing all you can borrow, and he's made a lot of money doing it. He and I are friends. We like each other, but we completely think the other one's nuts.
I mean, this guy is sprinting, and when you're sprinting, it's a lot easier to trip and fall as opposed to just a nice light jog.
Yeah,
just jog it out.
In for a light jog.
Yeah,
that's what. Yeah, it's different than the old sprint.
Yeah.
Thanks for listening to Ramsey Everyday Millionaires. Need help with your investments? Connect with a SmartVestor Pro at RamseySolutions.com/invest or click the link in the show notes. Ramsey Solutions is a paid non-client promoter of participating pros. Learn more at RamseySolutions.com/SmartVestor.